I'm back here and this thing's hurting my ears just sitting right here.
I just want us to always be, to always be.
Alright, what's poppin', people? We got ourselves a nice little review here of the Rockford Fosgate P300-12T. So, might be wondering, T, what's that stand for? Well, it means it's meant for a truck, and obviously, I don't have it set up that way. But, in the future, maybe, coming along, we'll have a truck. So I got this one, because I plan on keeping this for a long time, because this is one hell of a unit. There's a lot to it. This thing hits pretty damn hard for what it is. You might be thinking, oh, but it's only 300 watt RMS. Well, if you're debating between the 300 and the 500, and you're kind of on a budget, definitely go with the 300, because this thing still hits hard, and I mean hard. I am very impressed by how hard this thing hits, and how much I mean, this is a big car. This is a 3-row SUV right here, Honda Pilot, that gets completely filled with sound. This thing completely fills the car with sound and is more than enough to fulfill my needs for bass. Quite frankly, sometimes it's too much. Fun fact, if you use Sirius XM, they actually bass boost their music. So if you're listening to the hip-hop station, you will see that there's a lot more bass than, say, you're playing through Spotify. It's actually quite surprising how much more bass there is. So sometimes I'm driving along, and I usually have my bass knob turned to half, and that thing, and my volume is only on like 7, 8 out of like 40 or whatever this car goes up to, and it still makes it so I can't hear another thing in the world. Like, you can't even hear the music, the bass is so loud. So if you're considering a 300 and you're like, but the 500, the 300 is plenty, unless you're trying to look to hear the people that you're driving past to just hear nothing but bass from like a mile away. This thing, there's not too much noise pollution actually. If you're that type of person that wants other people you're driving down the road to hear you listening to your stupid tunes, well, this is not the one for you unless you have it completely turned up with the windows open. But normal listening, this thing is plenty, believe me. It did exactly what I wanted it to. But anyways, now that we know more about that, let's actually go through the whole thing and how I did it. We're just going to do a quick little thing on it. I'll tell you guys what I did and what I learned on this experience. This is my first time ever doing a install or whatnot for a subwoofer, and you know, it only took me a few hours to do, learning all the wiring and stuff. Pretty simple. This unit is very simple to install yourself. I think just about anyone could with a little bit of basic car knowledge can do it. So if you're intimidated by a normal install, this is actually in fact a lot easier than a normal one would be, and I'll tell you why. So anyways, let's look right here real quick. So this is my positive terminal. As you can see, this is the power wire running from that. Got it wrapped up in this 1/2-inch tubing just to make it look clean, make it look like the rest of the engine bay, because you can see all the other wires got this stuff wrapped in it. So I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna toss that on there, make it look like a professional, you know, install. And then my like 70, I think it's a 75 amp fuse is down here underneath, just kind of hiding it so that you can kind of see. You don't really have to see it to kind of not, like, you know, less clutter in the engine bay. And then as you can see, it goes right here. That goes into the grommet, that goes into the firewall. Just a really clean looking setup. I think this looks professional to me. And you know, if someone were to actually do this professionally, if I was actually pay someone, I think I got quoted like 120 bucks to do it professionally. I was like, hell no, I'm gonna do it myself. I think this is as good as you're gonna get. So that's pretty simple to do yourself. And if you're wondering, this is 8-gauge wire underneath of here, so the 1/2-inch fits perfectly. Fucking mint. And then, all right, we're gonna come back. So ran the power wire through the firewall. I don't know if you can't probably see, it's a little dark. Then it runs along all the trim. This is pretty easy. Just basically rip it up. Very easy to do yourself. Pull this back. I mean, all this is pretty simple. You don't even really need tools, quite frankly. I purchased some just in case. Actually really didn't even use them. So run the course through here, and then we come back to here. I'm gonna pull this a little bit. I got a bungee corded, as you can see. to just hold it in place. A basic way to do it, but it works. And then you see the cables run up through here. Now I've got this tape. It's not electrical tape, it's like a fabric tape. I'll show you. I've got a roll of it over there in that box left over. But as you can see, it runs back here, and then you can see you got your ground, your power, and then these are to your RCA cables. And you're probably wondering, RCA cables, are you running a aftermarket head unit? Nope, I am not. I'm running the factory head unit. I can tell you how you're going to do that, and that makes it a hell of a lot easier too. And then this is your remote wire, so that you can run your little remote base knob to adjust it. And then you're probably wondering, hey, where's your signal wire? Well, this subwoofer actually has an audio detection thing enabled, because this is where your amplifier is. You don't gotta have any extra cables or nothing like that. So this actually automatically detects when audio is played and will turn the subwoofer on, and it will automatically turn it off when there's not sound being played to it, which is extremely useful because you don't got to run no power or a signal wire to anything in the. I think you have to run to like the fuse or something in the back of the radio, which is complicated and quite frankly would make the much more difficult to install. So this is super nice. This is very, very nice to have. Quite frankly, I love it. You got a bunch of different automatic turn-on things, so you can do that. So that is one of the main selling points on this subwoofer, I think, is how simple it actually is and how nice it is to have that feature. Believe me, it is fantastic when you just don't need to worry about any of the other wiring, because quite frankly, the rest of the wiring is pretty basic and easy to do, and that was the only part that was kind of worrisome. So let's talk about the actual RCA to actually get sound to play to it. So now if we go back here, close the door. If we go back here, I got a little box of extra parts left over. As you can see, here's the signal wire right there. Not even needed, don't need it. There is that tubing. There you can see right there what it is. Bingo. And then that's the tape. It's like a fabric tape, something like that. I'll link everything down in the description that I used, just so you guys know. But this is how I made the whole RCA thing work. So now I'm gonna put a link to the actual little harness that I used to connect the RCA to these tappets, which then you can then tap into the wires in the back of your head unit to wire it up. I don't have any actual video of me installing it because this is my first time doing it, so I don't have any actual way to show you how I did it, but I'm going to explain it, and I'm going to tell you this is the easiest way, in my opinion, to do it. You don't need to worry about any soldering or cutting or nothing. It's all ready to go, and it's basically just plug and play. So these things make the install so much simpler, and it is so easy to use these, and these things are amazing for like $4 or $3 or whatever, how much I pay for these. So worth it to go this route, and you don't need to do no cutting. And if it doesn't work, you can literally just take it out and plug it, just tap it into a different freaking wire, and you can tap it into every single wire in the back of your head unit until it works. That's how simple that is to use. So that was awesome. And then you got this is Velcro strips that I actually used to mount the remote to the bottom of my dash to make it look all clean. And then it comes with a bunch of extra nonsense that you don't even actually need any of this. The only thing I actually used was this little thing to tighten down the cables to the little power and the negative. So that's what I used right there. That's basically everything. Let me go up front, show you real quick the remote. So as you can see, I just cut off a little bit of section because I think what they want you to do with the Velcro is use it to like install it to the floor, but I use bungee cords back there, which quite frankly work better. And then see, I just put a little bit of hot glue to attach the Velcro to the actual remote, and then slapped it on the dash, and that works out pretty damn well, I have to admit. But yeah, so ran the power and the remote cables down this way, ran the RCA cables on the other side, because I think they say there's something over the interference. I don't really know too much about that. They just don't want the frequencies or whatever to mess up, so you don't hear any like buzzing or whatnot. Ran them through here, and then you get to the back here, and then Crutchfield, the website I ordered it from, sends you a little thing explaining your wiring splicing guide. You don't actually need to do really too much splicing. You just need to tap into 4 different cables. I tapped into my front right door speaker, my front left door speaker, so I can adjust the bass through the actual stock head unit, which is pretty freaking nice. And then the manual for that comes with the subwoofer tells you like the gray and black, and then black with a white stripe and everything. It tells you what's your positive and negative, and then the crutch wheel tells you what's your positive and negative in the back of the head unit. So pretty damn easy. I'm gonna link everything down in the description like I said, so you guys get a better idea. Alrighty then, so we're in the back of the radio here, the back of the head unit, and I'm gonna show you guys what exactly I'm talking about when I say the tappets, right? So as you can see right here, sorry for the low lighting, I have a flashlight in my hand and holding the GoPro. These are where your RCA cables are going to be plugging into, right? Left and right. And they're going to go to 4 separate wires. So you have negative and positive for both sides, obviously, right? And you need to connect them to the actual speakers so you can get, you know, sound going to your subwoofer. So what I tapped into is your left and right door speakers, just because they're the simplest to find. Because, I mean, look at all these colors, right? You're looking in here and you have a ton of different colors of all sorts of different speakers, because this car comes with a factory 9 speaker system, so there's a bunch of them. I would have liked to tap into my factory subwoofer. I don't know how that would have worked, but that would have been interesting. That would be a cool test I'd like to do if possible. But anyways, I chose to do the door speakers. You can do whatever you want, but basically these little tappets right here, I'm gonna hold my flashlight. So it's these little units right here. Basically, you put the wire, so the way this little harness that you can buy off of from Rockford Fosgate has the wires stripped on the end. So basically what you do is you put the stripped end into one of the ends of the tappet, and then you screw it down, and that's how you get a solid connection. Because you see, you pull on this, that ain't coming out, like that's in there good. And so the other end has a little pointy, kind of like a tack, right, that you will put the cable that you want to tap into. So say you just pulled this one out, right? You would put there's 2 ends to it, so you put the stabby end that looks like, you know, a tack into it, and then you screw it down, and basically what it'll do is it'll puncture the rubber or the conduit of the wire and go into it and give you a connection so that you can have, you know, signal transferred through there. So as you can see, I got 4 right there that go to that. And then basically from there, you're going to plug it straight into your RCA, and it's literally that simple. No soldering, no splicing basically, and cutting all these wires. And you can take this out right now and it will look like no one ever touched it. It's basically a factory job, honestly, in my opinion. This is about as best as you can do any type of wiring like this. I highly recommend this. So if you're going to do a subwoofer install, or even like, you know, more speakers, you gotta go with these, and they're really cheap. It was like $6 for a pack of like 5 of them or 6 of them or something like that. So you can't beat that at all. That's basically everything that I did for the install. Hopefully I'm not forgetting anything, but we'll give it a little test here so you guys can hear what it sounds like. Alright, I just got some old YouTube up with some copyright-free nonsense just to give you guys a little show. So before we go out there, so I can show you, we go into here. This is the menu for like adjusting the, you know, bass. As you can see, now if I turn that down, you can hear a big difference in the subwoofer. I'll turn it up. It hits way harder now. So that all works, which is fantastic. I love that. It's my favorite part about the whole install, how it works like factory. So because this does come with a factory subwoofer for my car, so you can adjust the subwoofer as well, which is pretty nice. So I'll show you. If I come back here, alright, we got some noise making now. So I don't know how good the GoPro microphone is, but I mean, I'm back here and this thing's hurting my ears just sitting right here. And keep in mind, this is halfway turned up for the bass, and the actual freaking head unit's turned up to like volume 6. So I mean, this is pretty quiet, roughly. So I mean, this thing's hitting hard right now, and I mean, it's very impressive, this whole unit. I'm very, very impressed with this. So don't even, if you're even questioning like, oh, is this worth it? Yes. The Rockford Fosgate P300, this is the 12-inch, perfectly worth it. I mean, the thing is, it completely checks every box for me, so I'm loving it. So you have any questions about that, definitely go with it. I already got a different song playing. This has got some different type of bass to it. I mean, this thing hits hard, fills the entire car up. No question asked, this thing will do its job and do it impressively. So guys, let's pause the music real quick before this thing drains my battery. But I come back here and I just want to say, guys, if you're thinking about buying this, you gotta buy it. This thing is fantastic, and it is amazing, and it will fill your car with noise. But anyways, guys, that's it for this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe for videos like this. Guys, if you need anything, any help, questions about it, please feel free to comment them and let me know. But anyways, I'll catch you guys later.